Teaching Excellence Awards that happen tomorrow. You have until noon tomorrow to vote. So be sure to download that app and check out some of the other stages that are here at PAC Expo. We've got a couple minutes before we start this up. This is Trends in HPP, and we'll give it just a couple more minutes before we begin. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Glad to have you here. A bunch of happy, smiling faces. Were we out partying last night? Just a little bit, maybe. All right. Well, this is gonna get the energy up good and high. My name is Robin. I'm going to be your MC today. We'll walk through this some of this presentation with Daniela and. But first, I want to give you a little information about what we're doing here. Welcome to PAC Expo and to the Processing Innovation stage. Welcome to this presentation, Trends in HPP, Meals, Seafood, Proteins, and Pet Food, RTE meals. You're going to learn how HPP works, application trends, and you'll see examples of commercial food and beverage applications on the market. Hundreds of companies worldwide use Hiperbaric HPP equipment to process beverages and meats, fishes, shellfish, fruits and vegetables, dairy, and prepared dishes. Ready-to-eat meals and raw and fresh pet food, they're among the two fastest growing HPP categories. Here to tell you about trends in HPP are Daniela Soto Castro, HPP Food Applications Specialist at Hiperbaric, High Pressure Technologies. And Daniela, she gives scientific and technological support to high pressure processing users in the HPP incubator at Hiperbaric. As a thought leader for HPP, she's given webinars and presentations on HPP products. And she's got extensive research experience in the food and beverage industry. Daniela's been involved in the Institute of Food Technologists, where she won 2 international competitions. Congratulations. Anthony Zapata, Business Development Manager at Hiperbaric, High Pressure Technologies. He's in sales and marketing with experience in the food and beverage manufacturing industry. In 2020, Anthony joined Hiperbaric, where he's played a role in driving business growth and implementing a global marketing infrastructure. He works closely with food and beverage manufacturers to educate them on the benefits of HPP technologies. Why you're all here today. You're a foodie at heart, aren't you? And he's passionate about everything about nutritious and sustainable nutrition for the future. With that, I'm going to turn this over to Daniela and to Anthony.
Appreciate that introduction, Robin. And just for you all to know, I'm not as important as Daniela, our food science expert. Appreciate you guys all taking the time to be here today. I know it's a busy show. So today, as Robin mentioned, we're going to be talking about high pressure processing. HPP plays a key role not only on the manufacturer side of things, but also consumers. On one hand, you have manufacturers benefiting from food safety, which has been a major challenge this year alone, which I'm sure you guys are all aware of, but also not only food safety, but shelf life extension. On the other hand, you have consumers benefiting from high pressure processing through clean label products, products that are minimally processed. So these consumers are going to the perimeters of stores, pulling refrigerated products, looking at the ingredient decks, and these are all clean ingredients that we can all pronounce. So that solution that we're going to be talking about today is high pressure processing. So in short, that's HPP. So what is HPP? HPP is a non-thermal post-packaging process. Essentially, it's an alternative to what thermal pasteurization is, but it's a cold pasteurization. We use cold water and high pressure, really high pressures. We use the concept of isostatic pressure, so essentially we're pressurizing the product isostatically, all equal on all sides of the product, compressing it about 15%, just using water and high pressure to achieve the same, or some of the benefits that thermal pasteurization offers, but still preserving a lot of those quality ingredients in fresh products. So I'm going to play a quick video for you guys to see what that cycle looks like from beginning to end. So there you have our baskets. These are the HPP baskets filled with already packaged products. Think bottles, tubs. The basket then enters what we call the vessel or cylinder. Then it gets into position with what we call the plugs. The plugs are partially inserted where we fill it up with water fully. Once that vessel is filled with water, we completely lock it in with the plugs, and then we hold that in place with what we call the wedges. We have the plugs and wedges on each side of the machines. Once that's in place, we use what we call intensifiers in the machine. Think of intensifiers like turbos in a car. It's what drives the pressure in these HPP machines, getting to those pressures of 87,000 psi. The more intensifiers you have, the quicker we are able to get to pressure. We then enter so this is basically a diagram of what the intensifier looks like. You have the hydraulic oil, works with a piston. We're basically pumping out high pressure water, working in a stroke method, pulling in low pressure water. Once we get to pressure, we then enter the holding time stage. This is typically a period between 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the product. After the holding time stage, we have a depressurization. We remove the water from the vessel, plugs come out of place, vessel moves out and aligns with the exit conveyor, and we pull that basket on the other side of the machine, and that's what we call a full HPP cycle, and that product has been already fully treated. So in a nutshell, this is what that looks like in a diagram. We load up, and we have a basket right here. If you look to your right, we load up already packaged products into these blue canisters. These blue canisters then enter the vessel, fill up that vessel with water, then pressurize using intensifiers. We enter a holding time stage where we're inactivating a lot of pathogenic bacteria in those products, depressurize, and we have that full cycle. So you've heard me mention pressure, holding time. These are the key parameters when dealing with high pressure processing. You have your pressure, which all commercial HPP machines go up to 87,000 psi, which is equivalent to 6,000 bar. You have your holding time, like I mentioned, can vary depending on the quality of the product. For example, for meat products, you're going to a closer of a 4-minute holding time, 5-minute holding time. Things like juices, you're using a 3-minute holding time. So those are key parameters to consider on finding the right suitable parameter for your product. And then the third key parameter is the temperature, typically ranging from 41 degrees Fahrenheit and 77 degrees Fahrenheit. So like I mentioned earlier in the presentation, this technology is perfect not only to meet the benefits of what manufacturers are looking for, but also aligns with what today's consumer is looking for in a cleaner product. So if you look at our benefit circle, It mentions the inactivation of pathogenic bacteria. We're able to, through HPP, inactivate spoilage bacteria, pathogenic bacteria such as Salmonella, Listeria, E. coli. We do this in the product's final packaging so we prevent recontamination, preventing recalls. We're not using heat, so we're not thermally treating and impacting negatively the organoleptic characteristics of food products. So we're able to preserve taste, texture, color in a lot of these food products. And you're getting a fresher product that's a clean label that doesn't have to rely on preservatives to extend shelf life. So these are some of my favorite HPP products on the market. Like I mentioned, clean label is key and aligns perfectly with some of the premium products in the market. We have our customer Good Foods Group, that's a plant-based queso dip, mush that produces a overnight oats with it's basically a base of almond milk and oats. Ithaca hummus, which is another customer of ours that produces a phenomenal hummus. And I'm sure you guys have all seen Once Upon a Farm, especially if you have babies around here. HPP enables you to offer your babies a safer, more better for you product. These are all ingredients you can pronounce. There's no, preservatives or anything of such, and you can see how some of these brands communicate that better for you clean label products, such as Good Foods with their no artificial anything tagline, and Ithaca hummus, made with real food tagline. As far as shelf life extension, really depends on the type of product. I wish I can tell you exactly, what shelf life we're able to achieve. But typically, most products can achieve a shelf life up to 4 months. We'd have to look at it at a case-by-case basis, things like pH, bricks, water activity, and such. And then from there, we'd be able to tell you the shelf life extension. But typically, products are refrigerated and can go up to 4 months. As far as food safety, this diagram essentially shows the different types of inactivations we can get at different sets of pressure parameters that we can go to. So going up to the parameters of 2200, we can get rid of parasites in food products. Going up to around 3800, we can get rid of yeast and mold. Once we start approaching those higher parameters of 6000 bar, we can get rid of things such as Salmonella, Listeria, E. coli, as well as spoilage microorganisms, which are responsible for obviously spoiling food. The one thing in con that challenges HPP is that we're not able to inactivate bacterial spores. So therefore, we do have to preserve the cold chain, and for most products, we do recommend a pH below 4.6 to act as a hurdle of growth of bacterial spores. This is a quick recap of what the market looks like in terms of applications. Majority of our customers make up, that juice and beverage category, smoothies, cold pressed juices made from fruits and vegetables. We have meat products, both raw and cooked, benefiting from food safety and shelf life extension. Guacamole achieving a shelf life of 90 plus days, still preserve that green, tasty color that guacamole has. Examples like you saw, Ithaca hummus, dips, different plant-based products, baby food, so different types of fruit and veggie purees in pouches and cups. The market's also growing in terms of applications around ready-to-eat. These are both, which Danielle will be touching on today, but they're convenient, refrigerated with an extended shelf life, sometimes even 45 to 60 days. Seafood sector has a very interesting application because you can not only use HPP as a post-packaging process for food safety and shelf life extension, but it also has the benefit of extracting the meat from shellfish. So things like lobster and oysters, basically what HPP does at lower pressures, it detaches the meat from the adductor muscle of the shell, and you get a nice clean extraction of at least of 100% yield on that. Becoming more popular are applications such as dairy products. In the U.S., we haven't seen anything related to milk, but cheeses and different dips made out of yogurt are becoming very popular. And one application that has extremely been moving the last 2-3 years is pet food, both the raw pet food space and the fresh pet food space. And Danielle is going to be touching on this application deeper, so I won't get too deep into it. And then the last application is the pharmaceutical and pharma space. So this is a breakdown in terms of the usage of our customers that make up the application of HPP machines. So as you can see, leading categories is that juice and beverage space, meat products, guacamole, and then following that, we have an interesting model called the tolling service model. It's essentially companies that acquire machinery and lend out or outsource the service to other customers that don't want to take on that initial capital expense of buying a machine. There's tollers. I believe we have a little over 120 tollers around the world where you can literally take your product, they'll treat your product, and either logistically return it to you or distribute it directly to your distribution centers or to the retail store. There's actually one of our newest customers, HPP Chicago, that recently launched this year. If you guys had any questions or producing product here, you can get in touch with Guillermo, which is back there. We'd be happy to share some information on your services. And that is all on my end. I'm now going to pass it over to our food expert, Danielle Soko.
Hello everyone. So now touching base on the different trendy applications that HPP has shown in this last year, our main list for. The first one is the seafood application with the shocking of bivalves and crustaceans in order to extract 100% of the meat and also to act as a safety intervention in these products. Also to help add value to this in order to create ready-to-eat meals or already shocked products with different commercialization formats. Also, the ready-to-eat meals and dips, plant-based, also ready-to-eat plant-based dips, healthy snacks are currently pretty trendy in the market. Also, meat products such as raw and cooked meats are also processed with HPP as a post-lethal or lethal step for pertinent pathogens, and also cured and deli meat, where HPP can act as a post-lethal step in order to intervene against Listeria, Salmonella, E. coli, and this has been very trendy right now because of the frequent recalls that have been going on around this last year. And finally, pet food, such as raw pet food formulations, which with this, HPP can act as a lethal step in order to present a 5-log reduction in pertinent pathogens, vegetative bacteria such as Salmonella, Listeria, E. coli, Campylobacter, which would be of interest in this type of food matrices. And with this, you can also process freeze-dried products, which will also be safe to consume because of HPP acting as a killing step. And finally, fresh pet food, such as the fresh pet food products, which is the already cooked product with HPP, which will help extend the shelf life and also act as a post-lethal step. So now we'll go deeper into the seafood applications. So this is how the seafood applications market overlay looks like. So first there are the shocking applications for bivalves and crustaceans, where you can automate the shocking process and reduce the labor and also all this risky handling of shocking oysters and bivalves as well. Also the already packaged food applications in the seafood market for the raw, cooked fish products such as desalted cod, algae, fish salads, ready-to-eat meals, and also cooked crab meat, where HPP can be applied as a post-lethal step in this already cooked products or as a lethal step in the raw ones. So this is how the seafood application will look like. First, the shocking and meat extraction for crustaceans and bivalves in order to extract pretty easy the meat, where we'll be applying pretty low pressures from 29 to 50,000 psi in short holding times from 1 to 3 minutes. And then it is the already packaged products for cooked and raw seafood products, where we'll be applying different parameters. But for example, for the cooked ones, ready-to-eat ones, we'll be applying really high pressures for 87,000 psi in order to eliminate pathogens of concern and to help prevent recalls because of any recontamination in the process. So for lobster meat, we can recover 100% of the meat by applying processing parameters from 2,000 to 4,000 bars in short holding times. And also we'll be able to achieve and also to surpass the inactivation level of Vibrio for over 3.52 log reductions, and to meet with what the ISSC RTE standard will ask for. The same with the oysters will also help extend the shelf life for between 15 to 21 days more, while preserving a clean label product, and also intervene against norovirus and Vibrio, which are of concern in this vital products. So here there are two videos. The first one is the shucking of a lobster. So you will see how it's super easy to just like take out the legs and extract the meat from the tail and the knuckles and claws. It has been processed alive with HPP. That's an important detail. So for this application, you will need to process it in a packaging. It will be introduced alive in the blue baskets, and with HPP they will be killed, and also you will preserve the freshness by this process. You can see how clean it looks after HPP. And then this other video of the oyster, it was done at our HPP pilot plant in Miami, and these are Pacific oyster clusters. These are processed at these conditions, and you can see how clean it comes out, the meat from the shell. These are some of our customers with our HPP equipments that right now are using HPP in order to perform shucking or for as a post-lethal intervention for ready-to-eat meals. And this is a video of one of our customers in Maine, Greenhead Lobster, who uses HPP as a shucking process for lobsters, and also as a post-lethal intervention for their ready-to-eat cooked lobster products right now in the market. So you can see how the alive lobsters are introduced into the baskets, and then how they come out and how easy it is to extract the meat from their shells. And now we're jumping into the meat applications. So for the meat product market, it will be divided into these three main. The first one will be the raw meat, such as Old Neighborhood, which is our customer. And what they do is they commercialize the marinated meat, raw meat products, and uses HPP as a lethal intervention to obtain reductions of 5 log reductions for Listeria, Salmonella, E. coli. Also, the ready-to-eat meat, such as the cured and deli ones, such as Applegate, Noel. Also, this shredded chicken breast also can be processed with HPP against Salmonella and Listeria. It can also be used as this type of killing intervention. So the market and the application as HPP added as a food safety control will look like this. As a killing step in raw meat products, in order to obtain a 5 log reduction of pertinent pathogens of concern, or as a post-lethal step in ready-to-eat meat products, where you can leverage a 2 to 3 log reduction also in pertinent pathogens, which will help you protect against recalls and avoid any recontamination in your process, because it will be processed in its final packaging. And here I made a review of different research studies that have analyzed inactivation of Listeria as a post-lethal intervention in ready-to-eat meats. And you can see how at different processing parameters you can obtain a reduction of 2 to 3 log reduction of Listeria in this type of matrices, which are of interest. Also, you can help extend the shelf life for over 90 days in some cases. This will depend mainly on the water activity value. So if you're interested in processing any product like this, you can contact us directly and we can guide you on it. Also, just to mention, the USDA has approved for HPP as a post-lethal intervention against Listeria in this type of ready-to-eat meat products. And these are customers who right now are using HPP to process their meat product formulations. And now jumping into the pet food applications. This application is small, but it's growing super fast, and customers are pretty interested in it. So you may be asking yourselves, Daniela, why will I HPP my pet food formulations? And well, in 2011, the FDA Food Safety Modernization Act included the pet food products to be treated as human-grade products. So you must intervene and ensure the food safety in your products to avoid any contamination or presence of pathogens in your products. So with HPP, you can get a 5 log reduction and act as a killing step in this type of matrices. And also it has been approved too, as well by the FDA. So the next question I know will be, then how will I HPP my pet food formulations? So it is pretty easy. First, you get your formula and blend your raw materials, or either fresh too, Then you package it in chops or in your final packaging. Then you process it through HPP. Usually for this application, we reach high pressures up to 87,000 psi or 6,000 bars in 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the values of the water activity or the main target. After this is done, then you can sell it either fresh, refrigerated, or you can either sell it frozen. However, there's another option where you can either process the product in a clean room into bite-sized shapes to form nuggets or kibble or pellets. And this way you can either do freeze-dried to create shelf-stable products, which are pretty trendy right now in the pet food industry, or either sell it refrigerated or frozen in this final shape. So these are some commercial examples of some of our customers using HPP as food safety interventions to help extend the shelf life in different presentations. The first one is Fresh Pet, who process fresh cooked pet food products and uses HPP as a post-lethal step, also as raw or frozen, such as We Feed Raw, Instinct, and finally the freeze-dried formulas, which are the last ones. And HPP does not have a high impact in nutrients. This study was done by our customer Real Pet Food. They analyzed 95 different nutrients in their freeze-dried formulas, and you can see how 67% of the nutrients that were analyzed have an increasement in its content, 16% were preserved, and 17% decreased. However, they managed this decrease in nutrients by reformulating and adding more labor to their formulations in order to overcome this decreasement in it. And these are some ideas of how you can commercialize your pet food products while processing them with HPP, either in cups, thermoforming them, or in pouches, or in chops as well. And these are some of our customers that right now are using HPP to process pet food formulations. And with HPP, just to mention as well, it can help extend the shelf life by duplicating it, by tripling it even more. This is a video of one of our customers, Real Pet Food, who does this freeze-dried formulas, and you'll see. These are the kibbles and patties, which uses HPP as a killing step, and then the freeze-drying step in order to create shelf-stable products. And now going into the ready-to-eat applications. So HPP can be applied as a post-lethal interventions to ready-to-eat meals that are already cooked in order to get a 2 to 3 log reduction, mainly in listeria, which will be of concern in these product types. And also we will have a shelf life extension of over 4 or 5 days, depending on the water activity value, on the pH, and on different parameters that will need to be considered as well. And also, since this will be processed in their final packaging, we can avoid any contamination and ensure food safety with it. So this is a case of Rodilla, one of our customers. They had a recall in 1977 of salmonella, and with HPP, they were able to recover the trust of their customers and also to increase their sales later and to have an extended shelf life in their sandwich fillings of 40 plus days being stored as fresh. So this is an example of how HPP can act in ready-to-eat meals. Also, these are just some examples of some ready-to-eat products that are processed right now with HPP, such as hummus, ready-to-eat meals, overnight oats, different dips, guacamole, fresh salsa, dressing, soups that are currently in the market. Also with HPP in this type of ready-to-eat meals, you can have an extended shelf life for, depending on the water activity value, for months or even weeks, depending on the application. This is some studies that were done by analyzing the inactivation of listeria and also by analyzing the shelf life extension of their product after applying these parameters with HPP. For chicken soup, it went to 3 weeks, and ready-to-eat cooked chicken for 60 days, and it surpassed the 3 log reduction, which you'll be looking at as a post-lethal intervention. And this is a study that was done with fresh pico de gallo. It was processed with HPP, and you can see how the researchers managed to create a clean label formulation, which had a pH below 4.6, and how they inactivated salmonella above 5 log reductions, and they used HPP as a lethal step. So they were able to achieve a 5 log reduction in this type of product. So now handing back to Anthony.
Thank you so much, Danielle. A very knowledgeable material. So just closing remarks. We have plenty of resources at Hiperbaric. Danielle is one of 5 of our food scientists, 3 of them both PhDs with over 60 plus years of experience. We provide all sorts of technical support. Actually 6 now. We just recently opened our office in Shanghai, China, which we're adding one more individual there. We have pilot plants. This is a team. If you have any food science questions, any technical questions, you can contact apps at Hiperbaric. That's APPS at Hiperbaric. They'd be able to help you. Everything relating to packaging testing, right? Finding the right parameters, pressure, holding time. We can conduct validation, shelf life studies. Questions around food safety regulations. We have pilot plants in Miami, Florida, serving North America. Burgos, Spain, where our headquarters are located, and our new office in Shanghai, China. Just to wrap up, Hiperbaric is the global leader in the HPP space. We hold a 65% market share. We're celebrating our 25th year anniversary this year. In total, we have 400 plus installations, 200 plus of those in North America. And then quick shout out to the Cold Pressure Council. They're holding their annual conference tomorrow, Tuesday, here in conjunction with PAC EXPO. If you want to connect with other HPP experts, I recommend you to look into that. And if you have any questions whatsoever from a food science perspective, from an equipment perspective, happy to discuss with you. We have lots of innovations going on, new technologies, automation, equipment to make shelf-stable products, a lot of things going on in the industry. So that's about it. I appreciate all you guys for being here today.
We do have some time for some questions. If anybody has any questions, we've got one over here.